Tully, how does it feel like just to kind of be back in the fold of a mainstream wrestling product and like in a manager role as well as just kind of an advisor role too?
I think advisor role is probably a better description because I'm not managing and taking care of airfares and stuff like that. I do know that I have been away from this world other than Starrcast and autograph shows for a long time. But there's a lot of knowledge still floating around that I've been thinking of since Sean approached me with helping him out. And I think right now, the better he and I get to mesh, and think the better the product will be. And as for me, getting back into the fold is a little scary. I mean, this November will be 30 years. And so I'm as anxious as you guys are about tomorrow night. So,
how familiar were you with Sean Spears' work ahead of this situation?
He contacted me, and then I talked to Arn a little bit about it because and Arn said all the right positive things. And then Sean and I had a couple of conversations, and then we did the interview thing with JR down in Jacksonville at the stadium. And, sometimes you just got to keep your mouth shut and let actions speak louder than words. So,
Tully, you've had a love-hate relationship with the Rhodes family over the years. What do you think of what Cody's doing here with AEW?
I think that the AEW thing is awesome. Wrestling was in its best when WCW and WWF were battling. And then I was gone when the Monday Night Wars were there. But it's too good of a product. There are too many wrestling fans in this country and worldwide that to just be given one version, one company's outlook. And I think that this AEW thing is going to blow the socks off when Wednesday nights live happen, whether it's Cody Rhodes or whoever it is, the Cons or whatever. But I think that it is the right people at the right time at the right place. You did say something in your question, a love-hate with Dusty Rhodes and the Rhodes family. I'm not sure there was ever much love there, but anyway. Okay.
So you mentioned...
how do you feel, too, like just the tag team wrestling that AEW is going to have a focus on with you being an expert in that field? And how's that go coming across and seeing that kind of coming more toward the forefront where WWE has not necessarily, that hasn't been a focus of theirs?
Well, it is, it's yet to be seen that it's going to be a focus. And nobody has asked me about that kind of stuff. I mean, right now, this is a Sean and Tully thing. And it's not give us some insight to this or anything else. And I'm fine with that. So.
You've been around the business a long time, seen a lot of companies, a lot of wrestlers come and go. To you, talking about AEW getting ready to explode, what makes AEW different than some of its predecessors?
Well, this is what makes wrestling, period. Okay? This is what I was taught from the territory back in the 60s, 70s, 80s. My dad, a successful wrestling company is TV time and talent, period. If you've got TV time and talent, you will be successful. And I'm sure that on October the 2nd, TV time will be taken care of. And from all things that I can see, talent is not going to be an issue. And so it's going to be successful.
Couple more guys.
Tomorrow's match between Sean and Cody has that big match feel to it. You've been an expert, a guy who's been in many big matches. What's some advice you've given to Sean going into this moment, preparing him for this tomorrow night?
Well, it is. You've got to live in the moment. I mean, that's the thing. You've got to embrace it. I know that Sean's had a lot of things going on in his life, and I haven't had a lot of contact with him in the last couple of weeks. It's a little bit disappointing, but the few texts and stuff that we've had have been good. So I'm sure that he's in a good mental place. You got to. I think he's got enough experience. I think he can raise up and take his game to a whole new level, and that's what I'm looking for.
We've talked a lot about Sean Spears tonight, and so I want to ask you, outside of that, take him off the table. What talent in AEW excites you the most for the future of pro wrestling?
Well, I will be able to tell you that and answer that question tomorrow night, because as of the last 30 years, I have not watched a lot of product, okay? And so I am going to watch matches tomorrow night, and I'm going to look at that kind of stuff. But I would think that when you have run and do run a successful NFL franchise, and whether you win or not, you're still running the business of it, and they do, and they wouldn't dump a bunch of money into a bunch of some stuff that they didn't think was going to be successful.
Tully, last night, a bunch of the guys up on stage were asked some wrestlers that they'd love to see in the company, and Tessa was brought up a couple times. What advice do you give to her when she asks you about like what company she wants to be involved?
She has grown into a gigantic, what is the right word? I don't want to say character. She is
Talent?
persona. And it's awesome to see the talent that she has and the desire, because that's the same kind of desire I had to become the best. I don't think you would say that I was ever the best performer in this business, but that was my goal. I wanted to go that. And it didn't make any difference if I was on before or after. I still tried to have the best match on the card every night. And those are the things that I've told her. And if you do those, then everything else will take care of itself. And that's kind of where that part is. You know, I'm not, ask me in a month and after TV starts with AEW, if you know, I've got the AEW flag waving, recruiting my daughter. Right now, I'm just trying to keep both feet on the ground for me, because this is certainly 3 months ago, this is not something that I was thinking that I would be doing. You know, great, Cody Rhodes, wrestling company, blah, 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 blah. You know, but that's not where I expected me. I expected to be in San Antonio, going to the jail, talking to guys about the Lord, and that's what I'm going to be doing Monday, and that's what I'm going to be doing Sunday afternoon when I get back. And but this door came open, and it is it feels good and it feels right, although I am a little anxious.
So it's kind of been a mystery. It is a mystery who Cody's bringing out with him. Is that a concern of yours at all, or a concern of Sean's? And
no, you just don't want 20 of them out down there, and the dog and dog. Anyway,
Last one, guys.
Did you ever think you were going to be on this type of stage again?
No, and I mean, I was here last year and met Tessa at the end of the runway, and that was good enough for me. So, but life has some different turns. Of course, I never expected to be out of wrestling.